The best businesses are the ones that are pragmatic. You want to rely on businesses that essentially give users value outside or regardless of what markets they're in. And creating a business like that is not easy. A lot of people fail to plan for that and they end up dying. So when you have enterprise value as a business, then you don't have to worry about funding. The users will speak for themselves and your loyal users will stick with you and people will be begging to fund you. If you create a business, you have to plan for enterprise value. A lot of crypto companies refuse to do that. They just I want money. I want raises. I want this.
Yeah.
I want that. We made a lot of money. We made good money for the company. We made about $3 million, which is good. Great. We raised quite a bit of money, but we have to be responsible. We have to be responsible as a company. We cannot be complacent.
Welcome back to another episode of Xellar World Podcast. Today we have such a special guest here today, one of my good friends, Darrel, who is the co-founder of Creo Engine. Creo Engine is one of the largest projects here in Indonesia with over 100 million FTV as of last year and one of the biggest tokens in the country with over 40 games participating in his studio and over 100,000 downloads in a number of different games, including Evermore Nights. Darrel, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. We wanted to get you on a podcast.
Indeed. Mm-hmm.
We had you on an Indonesian podcast, but that
kind of went funny.
Went funny, but now we have you. Now we have an Indonesian one, English one actually, and it's good to have you in the studio.
Oh yeah, my own element, my own game. Exactly. Glad to be here. Yeah.
So I wanted to kick off the podcast by maybe just giving a bit of an introduction about yourself from the man himself.
Sure. Yeah. First of all, I'm Darrel. Nice to meet you for our viewers right there. Nice to see you. It's good. I'm a bit scuffed today, but I'm glad to be here. About myself, well, I used to be an indie game developer in college. When I was younger, in my younger years, when I was 19, I actually worked on a few RPG games, in my earlier years, and I did launch my game about 4 years ago. I did spend quite a bit of time there. I even sold my car to make that game happen. So a lot of work and a lot of determination to get to where I am today. And as of after COVID, I was working with my father and I actually met his friend. And from there, we hit it off, right? We had a good time and we started what we called Creo Engine, at the time. It was a gaming platform. We were making our first game. A beta came out in December. And ever since then, we've been pushing out products, platforms, trying to really capture the essence of Web3 through gaming. And so far, after months of hard work, lots of pushing, lots of blood, sweat, and tears, here we are today. The largest, if not the strongest token project in the country, and we're very happy to be here. A lot of hard work went into it, but nonetheless, I'm very glad that I could put the time and effort to making this company and, being here today talking to you about the history and what happened. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I think before this conversation, we were talking about a number of interesting things that Creo is doing.
Sure.
And you guys not only have Nomina Games, which is a gaming studio right under Creo, but you also have a grand vision to turn Creo into sort of the one-stop shop to have all these games. I'm curious as to how you came to that vision and really what was the catalyst in the very beginning for you to get there.
I truly believe that Web3 as a business is so ripe for the picking. And it's an industry where a lot of people could find jobs, right? Jobs through, anything really. Trading commodities, NFTs, you name it. There's a lot of things you could do with Web3 as a whole. So initially, we figured to tackle the gaming industry head first because it's the most popular industry with the biggest market cap in Asia. I think Indonesia has one of the largest mobile gaming consumers in the whole peninsula, right? Or in the whole ASEAN region. So we figured that we create accessible means to play Web3 games through one platform. And this is why we made what we call the CreoPlay.app platform, where developers from both industries, from both Web2 and Web3 industries could gather together and essentially play these games, right? Essentially trade, find business, trade their commodities, talk to their communities, a place where it's dedicated purely for Web3 gaming. Now, that doesn't mean that we're also open to Web2 games. We are actually keen on getting Web2 developers to find other incomes of avenue through, creating digital assets for their communities or their fans. So all this for free on our platform. And we want to create this platform also because a lot of people do make a living through these industries or through these commodities. But the problem is a lot of people also, have a hard time finding, sustainable platforms for these things, which causes a lot of them to lose money and to have issues. So we created Creo Play just to get people on board, just to get them started on their Web3 gaming journey, and for them to see, how impactful Web3 gaming could be for them, which is why, that's why I made this in the first place, because I truly see Web3 in its decentralized fashion being accessible for a lot of people across the country, for the unbanked even. So with that notion set in stone, we've been going hard for the past 3 years. It's been a long time. 3 years is a long time, for doing this. We've been through the first bear market, and we're stronger than ever. So we want people to find reliance in us, and hopefully their Web3 gaming journey could be smooth sailing with us also.
You mentioned that Creo has been around for 3 years.
That's right.
And before this recording, we were talking about how Creo's token had just recently increased a bit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious as to
It's been a lot of work.
what is the season like right now for yourself and for Creo?
Tokens are a pain to manage. I think a lot of young people I met at these conventions when they were as young as me. I'm 28, by the way. I'm not that old. I do sound pretty old, but I'm only 28. I met people who were 2 years younger. They have immense optimism to get their own token out, to make their own project with their own tokens, and they go in there blindly without knowing how painful it is to make a token. So when we first made our token back in 2022, May 4th, which is the Star Wars anniversary, fun fact, we actually had a lot of launch pads. And they weren't so kind to us, unfortunately. They were actually dumping on us. So we had to buy back a lot of our tokens because we wanted to, if anything, we told ourselves that we have to at all costs maintain the integrity of the company, of the perception of the company, which we've worked tirelessly every night to maintain.
I didn't know that you started at a launchpad.
We did. So we actually talked to a lot of launch pads to get them to raise with us, which was, at the time, we thought it was a good idea to get instant capital. But we were inexperienced back then. That's a note. We were not experienced in how tokens would behave and how markets would treat us. So we learned the hard way. And, we see a lot of projects, even with the best launch pads, even with the number one launch pads like DAOmaker, for example, they didn't do too well when they launched. 80% drop, right? It's not good. So when I say tokens are hard to manage, I mean they're really hard to manage. So they go in there blindly without committing those hours, those nights, and those pockets to maintaining your token integrity. Then you better not do a token at all in the first place. And that's why, for us to be where we are today with the price, we did go up to 0.2, but we actually went down because I think Bitcoin had a bit of a problem. It went to 49, I think, at some point about a couple months ago. And then we went back up again because, markets were good to us, and we were prepared this time. We had capital to spare. We had products to show, and we had communities to back us up, which we're very happy to, to talk about. So it's not easy. It's really difficult to get a token out. And I could say for sure that we lost a lot of nights sleeping to get those tokens, to get the price to where it is today. But we did it all for you guys, for people holding our tokens, for people who, wanted to support us, who believed in us. We wanted to show good face. We wanted to show good faith in the people who were with us in the beginning. So tokens are not easy to manage, and it's been a journey. It's been a bit of a tough journey, but we're happy with where we are today. Yeah.
What's the hardest part about managing a token?
Oh, the hardest part, at some point, we had to do a lot of guessing. But at some point, we also realized it all boils down to marketing. If you have great marketing ideas, but the wrong timing, you're dead anyway. It's all about timing. It's all about getting that right campaign out, that right notion out, and getting that timing just right where the stars align. It may not be easy at first, and things may not go as the way you want them to go, but at the very least, if you keep up the efforts, if you just maintain that integrity, you'll get to where you are in good time. Yeah, so it's not easy. The hardest part, just marketing, finding that right partner to market with, a lot of hard work.
So you actually help a lot of games launch their tokens, right? Why do you do that?
So we actually partner with a lot of games. Most of them have not had their tokens out yet. However, we encourage games, or we want to partner with games with their own tokens because we want to be token agnostic, our platform. Sure, our token will be used for a lot of things with the platform, subscriptions, fees, you name it, right? But we also have our DeFi tools that allow people to actually earn tokens if they stake our tokens, for example, and vice versa. We want games to launch their tokens because we want to create speculation. as a project. We want there to be a speculative market strong enough for people to actually, buy and trade these tokens because they believe they could actually go up or go down in price. And this is nothing new. A lot of platforms actually do this pretty well. They get their tokens out, they actually host their products' tokens, and they create a community of traders and buyers that is just healthy enough to keep it going, right? That's my dream personally with a platform. And a platform is only as good as its product or as its, as the communities that are on there. So we want a community of speculators, but we also want a community of gamers. We want to have that beautiful mix of traders, buyers, and gamers all in one place where they could find business and do business together. So we want people to hold our tokens, but we also want them to get benefits from holding our tokens too. If they could earn commodities from these video games, then why not? I think it'd be a good shot.
How do you connect that with your token at the moment?
At the moment, we do have our DeFi staking platform. It's so simple. It's the basic form of collaboration of anything. But in the future, with our DeFi platforms, we want people to actually earn in-game commodities with our tokens. If you hold or stake certain amounts of Creo, you could actually earn in-game commodities, which you could use in-game. Naturally, of course, we'll have to get people to, figure out, okay, what can I get from these games, and will it be game-breaking? So at the consent of developers and their communities, we have to, of course, figure out what's good for the token and the holders and on the platform. So, yeah. It's a lot of things you could do. The best part is, what can the question that you're asking is, what can my holders get, right? If you could reward them well enough that they can improve their experience and their business as a whole, then you win either way.
Right.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's a lot of work, but very happy to get it done. We have a lot of good developers on our side, actually, a great tech stack team that has experience in building these platforms from the ground up. So I'm very happy to be working with them. A lot of work, good work. Necessary work.
Yes. So I think we've worked together for quite some time now.
We did. It's
Yeah.
been a while. Actually, we met each other at Starbucks. I remember so it was before Dubai. It was actually in early April.
Yes. The first token of this year.
This was 5 months ago. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's been quite
It's
some
been 5
time.
months. But the thing about what I'm happy about is this, right? You and I have the same wants in the business, in the crypto business. And that is, we want to create enterprises that have value. So with Xellar on board, we were able to have or access your developers of an amazing team. You have an amazing tech stack, by the way. I have to say thank you for that. And we could develop our own easy access wallets that could help gamers immediately access, the platform with ease, and they could actually trade and store real world value goods, right? Or real world price goods like NFTs or commodities in our wallets with ease. And that's good because the biggest thing that scares people away is the customer journey experience, which I think Xellar or Rampable or your companies in general are hell-bent in getting those and really just lowering down that fear factor, right, of getting people into Web3. So with that in mind, we were very happy to be working with you guys. Well, we are happy right now. Actually, you guys are still working with us on various things. And we can't wait to show people that, what we have works. And they could actually create their accounts using WhatsApp or Telegram or Google. And they could have access to all these games using this one particular account, this ID. Better yet, they could have access to perks and benefits from having all this one ID system, So it's a lot of, we're at some point in the journey in business is, in my personal experience in this industry, is how can you gamify the user experience? When you can gamify the user experience, you'll have sticky users. But when you have sticky users and they make money, right, and they have a great time, they have a great retention to doing that, then you win either way because you have a lot of users, which you could leverage to interact with various products that come into your platform, which means that you'll develop the snowball effect where your platform does attract more games because, the customer journey is easy, it's fun, it's gamified, and the money's not so bad. Right. So that wetware, this guy from Ubisoft told me about wetware and, the brain matter, brain action. When you gamify the experience, it's fun, right? And people will stick. So I'm hoping, I'm already seeing it happen. I believe Xellar, or your companies basically, you could make that happen with us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So actually, I wanted to talk about one of the interesting points of the things that we're doing together.
Yeah.
Which is the first of its kind WhatsApp wallet.
Yes.
It's actually your idea.
Yeah, it's a weird idea. The idea is initially, I made that idea because I notice a lot of people, no shit, I mean, they use
Yeah.
wallets. I think you bleep that out, but they use WhatsApp. A lot of people use WhatsApp.
Yes, sir.
But I was looking, sometimes I take walks in the streets alone just to see, people, the Gojek drivers, the kids, they all have WhatsApp. But they don't know an inkling on how to operate Web3 infrastructures. Now, kids could operate WhatsApp. I mean, it's a pretty standard, chat platform. But it also has its intricacies too. Groups, chats, you name it. Now, we want to figure out how could we make the customer journey for children or even young people who have no idea what Web3 is and they don't even care what Web3 is. How could they get on board with no resistance? So if we could have their WhatsApp be an anchor for their accounts, that's a great start. So that means, you have people using WhatsApp to enter these platforms to actually, interact with our products to make money. And now, if you could tap into that big market of Indonesians who don't know anything about Web3, then I see reasonable cause to believe that this could work. It's Jamie, it's developer. I'm sorry, it's rumbling.
It's
Forgive
okay.
me for that. Apologies. But that's the thing, I think Gary Vee made a point about 2 years ago about wine and online shopping.
Yeah.
In 2008, it was inconceivable that people could buy drinks from online shops. It was impossible. And people were kind of like, you're crazy for suggesting that, right? It's like, that's bullshit, But now we have people ordering alcohol online Tokopedia left and right or Shopee. It's just so simple. So now with Web3 being a thing right now, I really see WhatsApp being a point of entry for, people interacting with Web3 goods or Web3 products. And this is nothing new too. Telegram has recently migrated their entire chat app to Web3. You could have a native wallet in there and you could pay things on Telegram in like a couple seconds. And there's millions of people making good money in Telegram. No joke.
Yeah.
Right? The problem is people are still unaware of that, right? Southeast Asia is a massive market. Tapping into that market using any means necessary to get them on board is what I'm really aiming for. So this is why we did it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And you talked about Telegram. You also have a couple of Telegram games, right?
Yeah, we're making a couple of Telegram mini games, mostly geared towards earning Creo. Now, the whole point of that is, great, I want users, right? I want more users. It's always good to have users in a company. It's always good to have users. But I also want to make sure that we capture people that just want to play these simple games too, right? They don't like high fidelity, complex games with a lot of loops. They just want to get into it, play it, and the progression is simple but enticing, and they get cash. If you could just boil that down to the T, then, well, you win, right? And that's why we did what we did, right? We made a couple Telegram games. We have people reaching out to us to collaborate with us to make these Telegram games. And, we're happy to do it because, we have a big team of game developers at our side that know how to use Unity to make these games. So it's a good market to get into. But with all the Tapper games now, I think Hamster Combat didn't do really well. A lot of people were pretty disappointed.
Especially with their drop.
Oh,
right?
yeah. A lot of people were disappointed with Hamster Combat. It was pretty funny. I think my staff, he only made like $20 in 4 months. It was kind of depressing.
$20.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
really depressing. Yeah, 4 months, just $20. It was not much money. So we had to think about what are other ways we could make Telegram mini games simple. You could put the Tapper element in there too if you want to, but how can I make the progression nice, and how can I make the cash systems more rewarding? Right? So we did think about the win to earn approach, where okay, you pay to enter, you might win. You enter these tournaments that get big cash prizes, you might win, right? And if people could do these win to earn things every day, then you'll have people posting on their social media, oh, I just want $1,000, in 2 minutes. It's fun, and we want to create this stigma where these mini apps or these mini games could provide easy access to that, right? To that end goal at speed. Because in the end, the best products in the markets that make the most money are the ones that offer success quickly. Pump.fun is a good example.
Yes.
I spend $2. You know what? I might make $50, maybe 1,000, maybe 10,000. That's a win, right? And in the end, that platform made about $300 million just flat out, right? So it's really good money how much they're making from that notion, from that market, where the quick wins, the quick gains are just so enticing. But to gamify that, to make it simple, is the name of the game. If you overcomplicate your products, you're going to die, right?
Yeah.
It's just going to be like that. When it comes to money, if it's simple, then it's good. Like, there's a show called Dumb Money. I think it was on Netflix, or I think it was cinemas. You know why people love trading is because the games are so quick.
Yeah.
And if they fail, they'll be like, oh, I'll try one more time. Just one more try. Just one more try. Just one more time. And that repeated notion just makes it so enticing and so profitable. So GameFi, this is overarching to this next area here, GameFi.
Yeah.
A lot of GameFi companies die because their games are too beautiful. They're too complex.
Right.
They don't understand their target audience well enough. There'll come a time where GameFi will be understandable for conventional players, but not now. Your goal as a business is to capture audiences as quick as possible with the promise of income, with the promise of a chance of income. And when you do that just right, well, you win.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we made those Telegram mini apps. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So even like Telegram is starting to have some competitors, right?
Yeah.
Like Line and Kakao Talk are coming together.
Line is doing something good. So Line reached out to us to actually make a game for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty funny, but
How's that conversation like?
it was interesting. But they had a different API, so it was kind of
Okay.
tough. But Telegram as a whole, since they're the first movers, they'll be pretty much number one for the time being. So
Right.
we might go there soon. Yeah.
You think you would work with Line and Kakao Talk?
You know, if the market is there and we could be a first mover there, I'd say why not? I think we had a couple of people just reach out to us about Kakao also, but mostly about Line. So I might go and talk to them tomorrow. I think they're reaching out to me tomorrow, so
Yeah.
there might be something there.
Maybe
Yeah.
some exciting stuff
Some
going
exciting
on.
stuff there, yeah. Which shouldn't be that hard to do. Mm-hmm.
So I think before the conversation, you were also talking about how you recently just got a grant, right? 100K grant.
Oh yeah. It's a small grant for Slime Haven. It was on ZKEVM. So this blows my topic for making Web3 easy. A lot of games in Web3 always have permission-based transactions. Now, for the viewers out there, it basically means, oh, when I buy something, I have to, put a wallet phrase and press a button.
Yeah.
Oh, do I allow this? Wait 5 minutes. Oh, it's done. That sucks.
Yeah.
So with zero knowledge, everything you do, even the most minor things that require nothing, right, that require less time, is just permissionless. So the game now is going to be fully on-chain, and the grant's going to support that. So it'll be our first on-chain game, that game, Slime Haven. So Web2 users could play that game, and they won't know that they're on Web3. That's the magic.
Right.
Yeah, so it just means they could interact with Web3 goods without the use of wallets or
Right.
exchange or the like. It's going to make their customer journey a lot more smoother.
Nice.
So this is why IMX was gracious enough to, get us in and help us build this game out from the ground up. And, we're very happy about where we are today with
That's
that game.
cool. How do you choose your blockchains?
Whatever's the cheapest.
Whichever is the cheapest. Right.
So, Creo is its own token, but we do have a game studio that's making various games. So we do work with various blockchains, but
Yes.
whatever the cheapest, whatever has the most use cases, we do really go with them.
Right.
And this allows us to go into permissionless transactions pretty easily, which makes, the customer journey a lot simpler.
How are you planning to reconcile all these blockchains that you're working with different games? Will Creo be on every single chain, or how you
Creo will be on
connect
every
it?
single chain. We are bridging to several chains, but our platform is also chain agnostic.
Right.
So we might even make an L1 that supports that notion.
L1,
But that's going to be
interesting.
that's going to be a bit tough because we spoke with a lot of people. L1s are pretty pricey, but we have a lot of great talents that could do that at any time we want to.
Right. So you're potentially doing an L1.
We might be. It's a bit of a big job, but if that happens, we'll be the first gaming blockchain in the country,
Yeah.
which
I
will
mean,
make us quite a bit of money. So happy about that.
L1
happy
is
about that.
L1 is a big task.
Oh yeah, dude. I've heard the horror stories of an L1. It's like another baby, another
Yes.
child. You gotta take care of that. If not, then you're screwed. So gotta take care of that big time.
So how do you think the bull run will continue to run? I think we're towards the end of the year.
I think
It's almost 2025. What's your opinion?
give it 5 more months and we're done. Right.
What do you think will happen after that?
Well, market's going to taper off. People will start becoming smarter investors, and companies that survive will have enterprise value that can make people money despite the bear markets, which is the ideal goal. There's a mosquito here.
Right.
But that's how I see it happening. The best businesses are the ones that are pragmatic,
Right.
right? You can't just rely on businesses that, rely on hype and gimmick. The age of that is over now. You want to rely on businesses that essentially give users value outside or regardless of what markets they're in, right? And creating a business like that is not easy. A lot of people fail to plan for that and they end up dying. So when you have enterprise value as a business, then you don't have to worry about funding. The users will speak for themselves and your loyal users will stick with you and people will be begging to fund you, right? Because VCs want to win. Yeah, but if you create a business, you have to plan for enterprise value. A lot of crypto companies refuse to do that. They just I want money. I want raises. I want this.
Yeah.
I want that. And they end up dying. So right now, I'm learning around doing a lot of work about how can I turn Creo Engine or Creo Play into an enterprise value business with our partners, with our products. If the business can still generate income for users every day, then I'm happy. If there is a market, if our economy or if our economics of our users are strong enough, then people will still use us regardless.
Right.
There will be a creation of demand, which we could facilitate or artificially create. We could call that marketing expenses because, if you create demand for a product, you're marketing it and, it's a marketing expense. Then you could keep an enterprise value business going. But that's a different topic. It's another painful, long-winded topic. But I am keen. I'm certain we as a company could create or capture the enterprise value. And if they sell our tokens, so what? We'll just buy them back. Right. We love our company. We love our users. We love our products. We want to make sure that people have the best outcome for our products and, from our products. And we want to make sure that people actually find value in us as a company.
So I wanted to take a left turn away from Creo and more about yourself.
Sure.
Because you're a tech guy, but you talk a lot about business.
That's
How
true.
did that happen?
I'm a tech guy because I need to know the haze. If I'm not aware of the haze, then I'm dead. A lot of big Silicon Valley founders always say that if you're not a technical founder, if you don't know anything about your business and a technical side, then you're not worthy of becoming a tech company. I have to know about these things, even on a subsurface level, because if I hire people, I have to know what they're capable of and I have to know what they can do for me. And that's why in business, you cannot expect people to do things for you correctly. If you hire people and they fail, it's not their fault, it's your fault. It's my fault. So I have to know. If I hire someone and they be like, Darrel, I can't do this. I don't think it's going to work. I'm sorry. Who's getting blamed? That's me. It's not them. I mean, hiring is a painful process. You have to spend a lot of time finding the right person. I think Airbnb spent like about 2 months finding the right person. It's not easy. I would very much love to have someone replace me as a tech person, someone that's much more brighter, much more stronger, much more in depth than I am. But that's not going to happen because, if no one's going to do it, then who will, right? I mean, I have to be proactive as a business owner. I cannot let things slide by. Exactly. He knows it. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Companies that have bosses that just do nothing, they're not going to survive. And if you expect people to do things for you, then it's over, right? So I'm more like a CEO, CTO, CPO, all in one package. I do have a great CEO. His name is Javer. He's running around, talking to people, networking. That's great. All the power to him. But I'm responsible for the company. This is my company. I got to be responsible, right? We made a lot of money. We made good money for the company. We made about $3 million, which is good. Great. We raised quite a bit of money. But we have to be responsible. We have to be responsible as a company. We cannot be complacent. So I'm a tech guy, but I have to do something about it. I have to do something about the people that I manage, about the company, where it's going, because everything has to be cohesive. It's just how it is.
For people who are tech guys that
Yeah.
want to become business, or business guys who want to become tech, what's sort of like your advice in managing a team, managing tech in a
You
company?
cannot learn business online. If you have
agree.
these business courses, that teach you how to manage people, leadership seminars, those are all bullshit. I mean, it's just fucking
Yes.
true. You cannot learn those things through seminars. You gotta do it yourself because the people you work with, they're all X factors. But when I say that my biggest advice is this as a business, as a person, you have to find someone who's willing to lose with you.
What do you mean by that?
If you're in trouble and your employees just, not my problem, then they're just employees. Cuma karyawan doang, just regular people. But if they're like, boss, I'll help you, kita cari cara, we'll find a way together, we'll find a way together, then they're valuable. Pay them well. And I pay those people well. I have developers who are with me that when I'm in trouble, they say, Darrel, we're going to find a way. Darrel, I think this is a good idea. Let's do this way. Darrel, what do you think of this? They're proactive. They text me at night. What do you think of this? Oh, that is what I'm looking for. If you find people like that, you treat them well and they'll treat you well, right? You cannot have a company without loyalty. And a company's not a family. Companies are not families. They're a team. Teams cannot work without loyalty or without a degree of loyalty. So if you're a tech guy and you have someone who's an ungodly developer, he's a 10x guy, 10x developer. For our viewers, it basically means someone who's going to take your company from point A to point B lightning quick. But he's sombong, he's bad, he asks for much salary, and he's not truly kind to you, he's just in it for himself. Then is he really the one for you? You know? Is he the one for us? We have a lot of guys approach us that boast the best resumes, but they have no character. They just fall off. So you have to find people who are smart, but you got to find one with good character. And I got to know those people too. So that's why I have to be where I am today. I can't just be like, I'm going to hire this guy. He's good. Just pay him. No. Who is he? How old is he? Does he work well? Does he treat you well? Does he talk to you well? You name it. Now, good example. Can I diss a company? I can't diss anybody here, can I? I can't.
Up to you. Go for it.
Here we have the Brandeville case.
The Brandeville case.
All right, that was pretty nasty, you know. I think the founder of Brandeville treated their employees so terribly based on their mistakes. And their loyalty went down the drain.
Right.
And it all fell apart, you know. Just because, okay, a lot of factors go into it, but leadership is probably thrown out the window, right? If you have poor leadership, if you have poor people skills, you'll get nowhere. If you're a tech guy and you're in charge of tech and your company's a tech company, if you have poor people skills, then you're dead. So you know this very well because you're also in a tech company. You also know a bit of tech too, but you know how to treat people well. You know how to get them to work for you.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're a doormat. No, you have to be firm too. So it's a lot of things that go into it. So for my advice, I was long-winded, but for my advice to our viewers there, just do it. And if you have no money to do it, then work with people within your means and go from there. I've seen two people work together and they became 100 people companies over the span of 2 years from nothing. So making a business is possible. You just got to try.
Right.
But you can never learn working for other people or going to seminars. You just can't.
Yes.
It's impossible.
So what does Darrel look like in 5 years?
You know, what do I look like in 5 years? I hope I could lose more weight. I'm a bit chubby right now. I'm a bit fat, actually. I'm a bit chubby right now. I gotta change my diet. But jokes aside, I want to create more enterprises. I want to create more things that benefit people. I want Creo to become a gaming nation state in Web3. I want Creo to become something special and remarkable for the young and the old across the country who want to try and make a few extra dollars here and there through gaming. I want that notion to be a reality for people of Indonesia and beyond. And for those who are still looking into us, check us out, look at our games, and try to make some money here and there. I'm sure you guys could try, and you'll have a good time. In 5 years, most importantly, I want to be a father, a husband. I'll have a couple kids here and there, and I want to live a good life. A good life that good for me, but one that was well lived, that people could look up to me and could thank me for what I've done, and I'll be happy to do more of it till my end, basically, wherever that may be.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's where I want to be in 5 years.
So I just wanted to give some time as we wrap up for some final thoughts. Anything that you want to say to the audience?
To the audience there.
To Creo community.
To the Creo community, I say thank you. I met a lot of you guys in Token 2049. You know, I met a lot of you guys there. You held a lot of our tokens. I'm very happy for you to keep the faith with us as a company. And to the community members, you know, thank you for believing in us and for believing in me. I appreciate it. And for those that did pretty well with us, that made, you know, good money with us, you know, thank you for sticking with us and showing people that it's possible, you know. And for the viewers out there, you know, please give Web3 a chance. Give it a shot. It's a good industry. There are many ways to gamble your money on futures and trading. Give us a shot. Give Web3 a shot. And if you want to do business, give it a shot. Jangan patah semangat, you know? Don't lose that grit to work hard. Think of the ones you love and just work and try to aspire for something bigger because you can and anybody can. And that's all I have to say for my and our lovely viewers out there.
Thank you, guys. That's the end of the show.
Thank
you, Darrel.
Hey, thank you. I can't see you there. He can't see me there.
You can't see.
It's right there.
Just that one.
Thank you, and I'll see you later.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.